So before the discussion starts, I would like to invite you, each one of you, to introduce yourself about what you do, specifically focusing on the information technology, AI, that you have using in your work. Starting from Dan, please.
Thank you, Professor Song. Good morning, everyone. I'm working in SHTM as a professor. Also, I'm associate director for the research center. So mainly, of course, I teach, but mainly in the research center, we are working on the AI-driven decision-making tools and also demand forecasting monitoring tools to bring our research knowledge to impact, connecting with industry partners to work together, make impactful research.
Bela?
Thank you. As I was introduced, I'm professor of computer and data science, but since about 8 months, I'm joined the School of Hotel and Tourism Management, which is evident what AI role is playing in computer science in tourism as well. So in last 10, 15 years, my research is concentrated on tourism and environment. And I am one of the pioneers of big data analytics. And many, I noticed, know me from media for my bold and correct prediction, what I was using big data analytics and AI on election and others. In worldwide media, I was dubbed Nostradamus of 21st century.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Song. My name is Huang Yuzhou, and I come from China. And the previous 10 years, I work in Alibaba I'm the founding team of Fleagy.com. And 4 years ago, after COVID-19, I started my own company, WD Trip, which is dedicated, focus on the new social media, the travel plus AI, this kind of stuff. So now my company have already served more than 2,000 companies. We provide the AI agent service to them. And also, we run a very huge travel-related e-commerce. Last year, we produced more than 1 billion USD transaction volume. And now we are dedicated, globalized. Our strategy is for most of the travel-related company. We provide the AI agent service to them. Thank you.
Thank you. Bernard.
First of all, thank you, Professor Song. Thank you to all of you for being here in this beautiful Guangzhou city and for attending our session about AI. My name is Bernard Metzger. I'm the founder of Travel Index Group and Top 25 World. Travel Index has become one of the largest open database, or the world's largest open database on travel and tourism, with over 800,000 companies in 241 countries. In 2017, I started Top 25 World with the launch of Top 25 Restaurants, the world's first AI-powered restaurant guide. And 2017 was pre-ChatGPT, pre-Perplexity, and all what we know today as AI. Because our AI is data-driven, a multi-level data-driven ranking and rating index for restaurants, which we're extending now to other fields. And the last one is the Top 25 Blue Zone, because longevity and wellness is one of the fastest growing sector in travel and tourism. So we developed a Top 25 Blue Zone, which is a Blue Zone index to evaluate the retreats and destinations in wellness and longevity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. This is Nadia Omer. I am CEO for AirAsia Move. AirAsia Move is a travel platform. We started our journey as AirAsia.com, then metamorphed into the super app, AirAsia super app during COVID when there was no travel, to make sure that we retained our robust 50 million users community and stay relevant by doing e-hailing, e-commerce, food deliveries. But as soon as COVID was over, we pivoted towards becoming an OTA, which was our destination. And now we are a budget OTA for ASEAN and bringing more people into ASEAN. That's our focus. For us, the key thing is not only evolving. As you can see, our company has been evolving based on the customer needs. AI for us is a tool to achieve a certain objective. The what is defined by the customer. Our focus is on value creation, and we are using AI to create that value more efficiently.
Thank you for the introductions. Now let's start with the first theme of this panel, which is related to business operations, especially related to efficiency and cost reduction. We know the AI, to a large extent, reduces operation costs and also increase efficiency. Later, we'll talk about the human aspect of the influence. But my first question on this particular theme is related to what is the real-world example of AI that has fundamentally improved your cost structure or workflow? I will start from the industry panelists first, and probably from Nadia. You go first. Yeah.
So one of the top of mind use case for this is our route analysis, which basically is helping us optimize, which routes are working, which routes are not working, where the pricing needs to be changed, where the marketing needs to be increased, or maybe a different cohort needs to be targeted. So we have kind of automated all of this model so that it's able to analyze live and also share with us the recommendation. Naturally, a human has to check those recommendations because sometimes it's more of a symptom rather than a root cause. That's really helped us reduce a lot of man hours, a lot of repetitive work that people were doing, and helping us take more timely decisions. So that's one use case, the automation of our marketing campaigns. For example, if I'm in Malaysia, all the campaigns or offers that will be shown to me will be coming from my home destination to the next place. So it's much more relevant. In the past, we had to create maybe 200, 500 different creatives just to manage this. Now these are automatically created. So it's basically taking away the repetitive work for our marketing teams.
So basically, optimization of your road and also marketing. So probably we'll hear from Bernard in terms of your perspective from your company.
Of course, our AI model is AI-driven, basically. Yeah. So we use AI mainly for more efficiency to get results for our various index. We have the restaurant ratings, the hotel rating, now the Blue Zone index. Yeah. So it's more an analytics way that we use AI to analyze much more efficiently a bigger amount of data than before, where we had to do a lot of manual work to analyze the data and to get to the same results. Yeah.
Thank you. Actually, both of you are using AI and data. The data are presumably either collected from internet or you have internal data. But we know if the data has problems, and then the output of AI tend to misleading, right? So I have this question particularly to Professor Bela Stantic, because you are expert in data. So from data scientist's perspective, what are the most common data pitfalls in business facing when automation, especially Nadia has mentioned, optimize the route and also marketing campaigns, right? So what would be the main problems exist if we're using AI in these areas?
Thank you. Very good question, actually. A part of being academics, I worked in the industry. I also work with a lot of large industry and government projects. And I'm yet to see the clean data. So the bigger issue is poor quality of data. I will say in a minute what I mean by poor quality. Because I'm sure that you know the formulation garbage in, garbage out. And that is even amplified in the era of AI and large language model. If you train the model with wrong data, obviously you can expect a wrong output. And what is wrong, we start to blindly trust output from the generative AI, which starts to be biased, can hallucinate, and so on. Just to clarify for the poor data, it's not just missing data, null values, but it's more if you have a fragmented and underrepresented data. Maybe you can recall yesterday there was a very impressive and good talk based on data on MasterCard. But I didn't see the details. But I'm sure that you know that not everyone is using MasterCard. For example, in China, it's not that much used. So it's a question how much the accurate the analysis if you use only segment of data, not full data source. There is other issues with bias, ethics, and so on. I can elaborate that later.
Right. Thank you. That's a very good explanation about the issues with data. Presumably, for the travel index, you use huge amount of data, right? When you rank the destinations, you rank hotels, presumably you're using the data from internet, or you have a panel expert. So that this may have an issue in terms of the representation of your ranking if your data has some pitfall like what Bela said.
Let me first ask a question to Professor Bela. Yeah. How do you guarantee that data is clean and accurate?
How is accurate?
Yeah, that your underlying data is clean and accurate, yeah?
But I said it's all, I'm yet to see the clean data. But what you can do to have a trusted sources of data. Also, it's a very dangerous because data is usually within the organization, within the silos. Departments are hiding their data, giving output in aggregated form. And when they are planting data to public, they are representing in the form which is suitable to advantage them, which is not unusual, right? But problem is that these large language models are trained on the publicly available data. Then you have data from different sources which are contradicting. Every company favors themselves. And then it's causing that these generative AIs, which are not trained on trusted data, hallucinating. You can try by yourself. Ask something, whatever it says, just ask, are you sure? And you will see that you will get apology and a completely different output. So in short, answer is basically to just rely on the trusted sources of data, not on the publicly available.
Okay, we rely on humans, and let me tell you a quick story.
Right.
What Craig Silverstein was the employee #1 of Google. He was the first employee after Brin and Page, and he said it will take algorithm and computers 200 to 300 years to be as good as humans in cleaning data. Not me who said it, it's Craig Silverstein. You can Google it, So we rely, to come to your questions, about travel index. But there are two types of data. One is the public data, which everyone can accept, and one is the data we have on our network of 84 websites. So we have two types of data which we access to do our ratings, our destination ratings, our hotel ratings, our restaurant ratings. So basically we rely on the two types of data which we mix and enhance or calibrate with humans, human experts who calibrate the data which we have then, or the results.
Okay, so your cleaning basically is done by human, right? So you clean the data, which...
Okay, we can call it cleaning.
Right, you don't call cleaning, but that's right.
But it's very hard to clean data when you have a terabytes of exabyte of data by humans. So you must rely on the methods.
That's why we call it calibration. We calibrate the data.
All right. Okay, this is a very interesting debate. I think this is certainly an issue facing every businesses and even academics when we're using the data which are not reliable, and then our academic research result will also be unreliable and also may negatively influence business as well. So my next question, let's switch the angle a little bit for Dr. Huang Yuzhou. Since you are a startup, right? You only started 2 or 3 years ago. from break away from Alibaba. I think they did not treat you well, I guess. So that's why you start yourself. So how do you balance high upfront AI costs with long-term ROI for startup like you?
Thank you, Professor. In my point of view, I think AI is everywhere. Not just the data coming from the public, but also the working flow of all the company, all kinds of company, including the hotel, including attractions, including travel agencies, everywhere. Once we starting to decide what the product to sell, even we provide the service to customer, what the journey and the trip planning will be everywhere. AI agent will be everywhere. So why we started this kind of company? Because we want to provide the productivity solutions, AI technology based and driven to every of the companies in the industry. So that's why I want to start this company. And at the beginning, we are starting the training model, like most of the companies will do. Then you will find out the big model upgrade itself much faster than you training model. So most of in China, the AI-based company now is doing the AI agent and try to give the industry, vertical industry, the real solution, the AI technology applied to help you to upgrade all the solutions, make very strong efficiency, something like that. I will give you some of examples in my company already happened in recent 2 years. I have approximately 100 developed previously. Now I only have 60. 95% of the technical developers are now all using AI coding platform, and the codes, even 99% of the code generated by AI. Our developers are all managing this kind of the working flow, the codes, whether work or not. They are designed and accept. In the box, in the black box, all AI codes are generated by AI engine. And another example from the industry, we are serving a lot of companies with the AI agent. We help some of the, maybe more than 1,000 companies like the hotel, attractions, travel agency. They are doing the social media. We provide one product called a one-stop solution for AI GC technology-based content marketing platform. We're helping them to organize and employ a virtual digital employee to help them to manage the social media. So previously, before they are using this AI solution, maybe we produced the one content for social media, maybe cost $50 or even more. Now, in my company's solution, it's just $1. So how many videos or content you can make by AI solutions? The quality is equally. So last year, only this one agent already helped the 1,000 company bring more than 1 billion exposure and traffic globally with the AI generated content. So that's the answer of ROIs. So the methodology is changed. Previously, you have published 100 videos, and then you will ask my question ROIs. Now, the company every month produced more than 10,000 of the videos. So that's the new ROI. So totally in different level competition, you know. Right. So AI so this kind of solutions maybe in the future 3 or 5 years will be everywhere, but now we should start it.
Thank you very much. Congratulations for your success. But do you actually rely on, you mentioned that you do not actually train the model yourself using your engineers and technicians, but now actually you rely on maybe open source or other AI companies.
Hundreds of different kind of models.
Right.
Yeah, and we want to make it appropriate working flow and adapt to our travel industry. Right. So that's our mainly token redeemed for. Some small place I want to train model myself, right, but not for big models.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's very fascinating. We also learned something new from you. So let's switch a little bit to the experience. Of course, AI can improve productivity, reduce costs, but how about the experience, right? So especially in tourism, hospitality, especially luxury travel, people still rely on interactions between the employees and the customers. So let's talk about personalization and data-driven experience, because we have seen many hotels in China and other places has adopted the technology and AI, robotics. But then consumers, I guess, complained, and they also lost the human touch. So the service quality and experience are affected. So this is clearly an issue our industry is facing and have to deal with. My question first question would direct to Professor Dan Wang in this particular area. Does AI-driven personalization risk moving, the fun of travel and also surprise of travel? Do you think this has happened? This is a problem that we are facing?
Thank you for the question. I think I want to talk about two areas, okay? One area is about the recommendation system nowadays. We all heard about Netflix effect, right? So that means when you watch something, then it will recommend you more and more similar things, basically fit to your taste. This same thing happen when you watch TikTok, when you watch all the short videos or the social media generated content on social media platforms. The recommendation system, the algorithm has been designed to make you watch more. Basically, they feed you what you like. Okay, so then this basically made a very safe, experiential blanket, safety blanket, make you wrapped inside. So basically what I encountered on the social media is always something I probably experienced before, I probably already clicked liked before. Then you never been had a chance to encounter the new things. This is not so good in travel context. So we want to say, we want during our trip, right, when you travel to somewhere, as long as it's safe, you want to plan, but sometimes you want to leave some blank. You want to have some serendipity in the process. So that's why actually nowadays we're talking about the designed serendipity. It's kind of by design the algorithm, we can somehow leave some space for tourists to encounter the new things. Also to nudge tourists to try the new experience. This has been talked a lot, actually we also conduct some projects in terms of the algorithm design in social media platforms, particularly in terms of content recommendation. So we remove the risk, let tourists to see whatever they like, but also we allow some new adventures to happen to them. This is one area I would like to talk about. It's about how we make high tech lead to high touch, more personalization than before. But in another context, I would like to talk about is in our physical, for example, in the hotel service context. So high tech, high touch, or high tech, low touch has been debated for a while in academic and also industry. See, when you enter into a hotel, whether you would like to all being served by robotics, or you still would like to talk to people in a warm and natural way, in the way you're familiar with, then we found that it really depends. Because actually nowadays our consumers have been divided into different groups. For those digital natives who grow up with robotics, with AI, with all the sorts of technologies, we heard the responses that nowadays, if they go to a hotel, they cannot find deliver robots, they will get disappointed because they don't want any staff to deliver stuff to their room anymore because they get used to the zero context. They only want to grab their thing and then close the door. Then one, actually our interviewees in our project talked to me, said, as a female, actually I have the similar feeling, like in the evening I get changed already in my pajama and without all the makeups, and then I don't want to see anybody. So now please ask a delivery robot come to my room, deliver the things I want. So see, this is but still we have the different market segmentation, like consumers still want to be served by staff and people. So this is what we found in our project. So this is opinion, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing this. Very interesting, especially the recommendations nowadays. We know actually all the platforms, perhaps including AirAsia Move, they will recommend the services, destinations, and attractions based on their past experience if you rely on AI. But we know this actually created divisions and also probably ignore the new product that has been developed, has been appreciated by consumers. So in AirAsia Move as a travel platform, I'm sure you talk about using AI in recommendation, route planning, and so on and so forth. How do you resolve these issues? For example, recommendations based on their experience.
What's really important is to keep an open mind and stay curious, because whatever we are seeing today, tomorrow, some of it will stay true, something new will come in. So not having a dogmatic mindset is the most important thing for us here. I'll share with you one example. 2 years back, when I joined the company, I was asking them how they're doing the recommendation model, and it was being picked up from the big players. That's what the top hotel is for this big company. And then when we looked deeper in terms of what's actually selling on our platform, they were very different hotels. So what we realized was that we are operating in a budget segment. The preferences of this segment are different from the big OTAs and other players. So then we started valuing more the past purchase behaviors on our platform and creating personas based on this versus picking it up what we were getting online. So that can only happen if our employees, who we call all-stars, always keep an open mind. That's the most fundamental thing in it. I think a bigger challenge versus the AI technology is reimagining value creation, reimagining workflows, and reimagining roles. That's the most important thing, because with a fixed mindset, we will just basically say, oh, you know what, this is how the hierarchical structure is, this the bot will do, this the human will do. Actually, the humans can now go across, because the chatbots and the agentics can go much, much deeper. We need a slightly different type of lateral thinking now. And I think this is a great time, a great opportunity for our industry. We were having some discussions on the same stage about how do we make our industry more appealing for Gen Zs. Right. When we talk to Gen Zs, the biggest issue we have is remuneration. People want to work in areas where they're better paying jobs. And hospitality in particular has not had the best track record compared to other industries now in terms of that remuneration. We feel that if we reimagine the roles, create fewer, bigger value-added roles, improve the salaries, this is a best win-win for the company as well as for the industry and the younger talent too.
Thank you. I think Professor Stantic have something to say.
Yeah, I would like to add one important point. So I'm not much surprised to hear that your recommendation differs from other systems. If you looked even closely, you noticed as well that even between different system, recommendation is different. And I'm sure that you know that on Google, if you pay, your search comes on the top. Yeah? I'm not sure if it's already happening in this large language model and generative AI, but it will happen soon. So if you pay, they will favor your product when customers are asking for itineraries and so on. So That's another area to see that bias is introduced to this generative AI. It's representing not just what is the behavior of customers that they liked. If you went to one place, you will go to another. That could be also in an algorithm represented, but in a first place, it will be probably, if it's not already, who is actually paying more.
Sorry, if I could build a bit more, it's a very valid point. I want to add another point when it comes to, say, the usual chat agents that we are used to. Every chat agent is not having full access to the full repository of content over there. For example, Gemini is only focused on the Google ecosystem. ChatGPT only on theirs. TikTok is nowhere. So one of the feedback we are getting, especially for Gen Zs, why they're not only looking at here is because they're actually not getting the full information. Yeah. And paid is playing a big role. As soon as influencers start getting paid, the relevancy or the trust of the influencers goes down. That is happening with AI as well. So what is genuine recommendation is what is really priced over here. And finding that is not as easy as we would think.
If I may add
sure.
just
Right.
quickly, because I think it's highly relevant, I will be silent later.
Right.
So I think that's exactly the reason why we introduce trusted domain-specific large language model. If you Google, you'll find our publication. We built even system which is outperforming all major vendors because it's trained only on the trusted domain-specific data. In that case, you don't have a bias, and it's giving you the reality.
Yeah, that's actually is a very good discussion about the trust of the data. So if we relies on the data blindly, it may generate not only bias or influence consumer behavior in a wrong way, and also divide the society and divide the consumers, which may negatively influence businesses as well. Now my question actually also relates to data to Bernard. With so much data you are using, and also you have many different platforms, how do you filter noise to provide high quality insight for whatever the purpose that your platform are used for?
Yeah, I agree fully. The data is everything in recommendation, and that's why I fully agree with Professor Bela, and that's why we break it down in silos as well. Yeah. We have hotel, restaurants, airline, airports. We break it down to have more accurate data. And we have the human input, so it's even more important for us to break it down into silos, to verify and validate and clean the data we have in different silos. If you take huge data, I don't know, maybe in China it's different because they have access to more data than we have. In Europe, we have, as Nadia said, there are different source of data, or different bulk of data. Google is one, and then all the others. But data is key, and that's why all the big engines, or even Google, they want you to register to capture as many data from you to personalize your experience. So we break it down to have more accurate data, underlying data, to do our ranking at the end with the results in our indexes.
Thank you. Actually, it's good practice, I guess, to break down data, which create silos instead of resolve the problem silo. But of course, this is to solve your specific problems. So actually, due to time constraint, I think we need to move on swiftly to the next discussion topic, which is related to sustainability and regenerative tourism. So the first question actually will also go to Nadia. Specifically, we are interested in AirAsia Move because for us, we never heard about this platform. We are using major platforms like Trip.com, Booking.com, and so on and so forth. So how is AirAsia Move leverage digital tools to measure and reduce the carbon footprint of global travelers? We know how other platforms do. Are you having a similar practice in terms of reducing carbon footprint of your travelers through your platform?
Sustainability is core to the how of our business. What I'll share with you may fit into this answer, may be a bit different from here as well. The way we define sustainability is that how do we drive what people want in a more sustainable way. So sustainability for itself is not a goal for many of our travelers. We are into budget travelers, mostly Gen Zs, and the most important thing for them, firstly, is pricing. And when they're looking at airlines and hotels, it has a very utility-based purpose. Where they're really spending more money is experiences. So they save up on the airline ticket, and they save up on the hotel to spend more on the experiences, concerts and stuff that they're going to. Now, in that context, what are we doing? The first thing we are doing is that we are making sure that the carbon emissions are evident when you're booking your ticket, so we can create awareness over there. The other one is this group in particular is eating local, is buying local. That by itself, we've not really talked about it, but this is a behavioral practice which is driving sustainability. And a small effort that we are trying now, we are still at a very early stage, is that we have to balance the over-tourism with also continuing to drive more trial for the destination. So one of the things that we are exploring is how do we get new users to come in? Like, for example, if it is Korea, they would love to go to Seoul. But the second time that they're coming, could we basically showcase them some other destinations? It's very difficult to take a customer and move them first to a tier 2 or a tier 3 city, but for a repeat user or a repeat visitor, it is much easier. So that's how we're planning to spread it, so that the destinations also keep getting the new trial, while the returning users can experience more of that destination rather than that one destination. So that's what we're thinking. We're looking at carbon footprint, we're looking at good behavioral practices, and we're looking at how to cater to over-tourism without impacting the total number of tourism. Right. We truly do not believe there's a good quality tourist and a bad quality tourist. We feel that all tourists are really good, and any country that focuses on just getting high-value tourists in the long run will actually let go of their trials.
Thank you for letting us know these good practices. Next question, actually, I'm going to direct to Dr. Huang Yuzhou. Probably this is come as a surprise, a little bit challenging for you, because as an AI company, data-driven company, actually AI is not it's not friendly to environment. It's not friendly to sustainability, because AI use a lot of data center, consume a huge amount of electricity and power. So if you generate tens of millions of videos per hour or per day, you will actually consume a lot of energy. That actually will have a negative contribution to environment. So how do you justify as a business to contribute to sustainability? Do you contribute to perhaps compensate the carbon emission generated as the result of your business?
Yeah, very good question. Based on this kind of sustainability thinking of our own company provide these kind of solutions to the industry, the first we are thinking is that what we previously cannot do, but a customer or company not satisfied. So this is first point we are thinking. Using AI solutions, how can we solve it? So the second one is a little bit innovative, innovations, something like can we make a better experience or better solutions that help the companies doing faster? Of course, we are thinking about this kind of electricity, power, token, the capability, the cost, and also the company payment. Of course, we were thinking that every company spend how much they budgeted to this kind of infrastructure so that they can working well. So of course, we were thinking that. But mainly now is unsatisfied requirement is the conflict point, you know? So mainly, even 99% of the problem that we are solving is the previously problem not satisfied or not hasn't been done yet. So we provided solutions that all the companies or the customer have new methodologies. They can do this. I will give some of the examples, like, for example, one travel agency, when they face into the customer, after discussion about the trip planning, for example, like 5 days, 4 nights, certain destination, the whole routines. The pain point for the travel agent is that always customer want to think a while, then they make a decision, then they make booking. So this, we have a conversion rate maybe less than 50% or only 30%, something like that. If you have an AI agent that immediately, at the same time after the conversation we have, we generated guidelines and your trip planning, the whole solutions at the same time, maybe in 2 or 3 minutes. You're collecting all the conversation there, and then they generate. So the conversion rate will be twice.
Right.
So that's the efficiency that everybody looking for.
Okay.
So we are using this kind of small agent with very seldom token redeemed, and we provide a better experience. So this kind of stuff is always we are looking for.
Right. Okay, so basically what you're saying is that through providing solutions to customers and to businesses, actually you reduce the negative impact on environment, right? Make their travel and the business more sustainable. So you basically offset the carbon emissions generated from the data, data centers, right? So that's good, but in the future, perhaps we should do a project looking at the cost benefit of this business in terms of whether you make actually positive contribution to sustainability or negative. If negative, perhaps you should do something, right?
Yeah,
so that's something that research, academics, and business can work together. I think we still have one more topic to cover. Actually later, probably if participants have questions, they can ask you later. The next question actually is about education and the future. We are looking at the future. So my question actually will direct to everyone. So any one of you can answer. So basically, what is the biggest gap between current academic research and your actual business need, especially from an industry perspective?
I think, the everyday use cases are a bit easier. Adoption, especially because we have a younger workforce, isn't that difficult. But our biggest effort is going into AI engineering, where we are linking different programs with each other. Because with humans, you can tell them do this, then do this, do this. You can't do that with AI. You actually have to streamline the flows. So that's taking up a lot of effort, and there's not enough guidance available for this type of work. And the second one, as I shared with you before, is reimagining the roles and jobs. We need to rethink. A lot of the structures that we have today are post the Industrial Revolution. And since then, we have not had a relook. This is the new AI revolution, and we need much more thinking prowess to reimagine the roles. So for me, as a leader, these are the two things that I'm spending more time to problem solve with my team.
Okay. How about the other two industry members? Yeah.
Of course, I would say the gap is there between our academic and the practical world, and I wish the academic world got more involved with us, actually, with the private sector, yeah. So as Nadia said, to get to teach and to learn exactly what is needed, which job function, which job profile, and what people can do, yeah. I think the academic is still very far from the real world and from the real problem.
Good, this is a criticism, and later I will ask our academic colleague to respond. And also perhaps this is your call for PATA in the future. Organizing such event, you should involve more academics to participate. Not only we can catch up with the industry trend, but also our research may also benefit the industry as well, because sometimes our research findings are written in academic papers. By now, industry people are very busy. Probably they only read the abstract and then they throw it away. So through those platforms, we can discuss and interaction, so that will benefit each other. So I'll leave this to you, Joe, first.
Yeah. I think for the gap for the academic and the real world is like, based on this kind of AI area, always will happen. AI will upgrade very fast.
Yeah.
So academic, we want to catch up. It's a very hard work. It's a big challenge. And it's in a methodology level. It's not just the data and the previously perspective view or previous traditional way of research level. The second challenge is like let us pay some attention on the working flow. So I think the total infrastructure or the total industry will be changed.
Right.
So that's the new area that we should pay attention to. Not previously like just we analyze the hotel, something like that, the customer experience. With the AI solutions, we will generate a new experience. How you do research on the new experience, we are going to innovate it or something like that.
Right.
So the big challenge here is the working flow level. Even the structure of all the companies will be changed.
Right.
So that's what I'm thinking recently, that maybe in my company in future, only 4 rows of employees. Now maybe 12 or 15, you know. In future, maybe only 4.
Right.
Something like that. So that's the distance that we are going to, maybe will going to happen.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the industry evolve very fast, right? So, but academic research take time. So there's clearly a gap, but I will leave this to my academic colleagues to respond to their request or criticism.
Maybe I can answer. In the School of Hotel and Tourism Management, we have a winter schools where we are giving, this last one was specifically about use of AI. But what is a good point, maybe it's restricted only for Hong Kong. Maybe we can consider to deliver this workshop online as well. I had a similar, when I was at another university, I had online. On one occasion, there was 26,000 people from worldwide enrolled. So that's a good point.
Okay, so through training and education online will probably reduce the gap to some extent. So what is your view on that?
So I would like to bring it to the destination governance level
Right.
of discussion, because actually our research center is working on connecting industry, government, and academic. How we do that? For example, in Hong Kong, actually we've been working with the Hong Kong government for a long time, almost 20 years, led by Professor Song. The projects focus on tourist destination level tourist satisfaction index, and also destination level tourism forecasting, tourist demand forecasting, and carbon emission monitoring system. Nowadays, we integrated all the cutting-edge AI technology, algorithms, designs, then into our system to make it more AI-driven, more intelligent. So by using those systems, actually, for government to have more information, to coordinate the resources, to give the guidelines for industries, to give the incentive schemes for those small industries, the government learned that they should cultivate more. Also, the talents gap also can be identified for these kind of systems. So actually, in the future, in my opinion, I think for destination governance should be moved to more smart level, like build up a kind of destination level AI operating systems. Because, for example, in Hong Kong, we're nowadays talking about culture, sports, and tourism integration. Basically, we have lots of events, lots of sports, lots of arts, exhibitions, music festivals, lots of resources, but they're all nowadays separately operated, not connected with each other. So basically, government would like to play a more, role in inside to as a coordinator, as a guidelines, but then where government can make decisions, rely on what kind of information. So build this kind of AI, destination level AI operating system is quite necessary. So this is what our research center is nowadays focusing on.
Thank you. Yeah.
If I may just add in relation to education, that School of Hotel and Tourism Management introduced also first of the kind Master of AI in Tourism. And the fact that I joined as a computer scientist school, it already indicates that the education in tourism, it's actually preparing the graduates for the future job which can handle these all advances in AI.
Actually, yeah, I think, yeah, or just comments on Bela's response. Actually, in the past, the curriculum actually are reviewed in two or three or 5 years' time. Now, actually, the curriculum should be reviewed continuously to meet the industry requirement, right? So otherwise, the student we trained were obsolete when they graduate after 4 years.
Can I add a point?
Yeah.
On 25th of February this year, we published how ChatGPT transform trip planning.
Right.
This was a paper from PolyU, from your university.
Thank you very much.
We published and distributed, yeah?
Right.
And probably one of the biggest distributor of papers from PolyU. But the point was, I read it, very well written, but it still remains, in my opinion, at the academic level, yeah?
Right.
Yeah? And this is very recent and published by your university.
Yes.
Or written by your university.
Yes.
We published it, yeah.
But unfortunately, if we don't write in academic level, it will not be accepted.
Yeah, but I mean, the approach to, as we talked of bridging the gap between the real world and
yes, yes. I think we should probably sometime we need to come to this at the platform like this. Use a layman language to explain what we do. If we say in academic language, probably you will bore everyone in 5 minutes. I think we still have about 5 minutes time. We open up for Q&A. So the mic will be passing around. Any question from the floor? Any burning question? You can have a question to, yeah, there's one in the middle.
Thank you. I'm Mike Paulin. I'm at the Life Members table, so longevity is at issue. And I'd like to address this to the gentleman with the WD index. You indicated that you were developing logarithms for blue zones. Is that what we heard?
Yes, we're developing an algorithm, a blue zone index. I say we are working on it.
I was just curious, what kind of algorithms you're looking at to get into these many issues. We've been hearing a lot about the broader issues of airlines, destinations, but when you get into a microcosm like that, how do things change?
Scientists that define longevity based on 5 pillars. I can take you through the 5 pillars on a separate paper, yeah? And we base on these 5 longevity pillars, yeah? Which are defined, I think, in the medical sector, and the scientists define the 5 pillars of longevity. And we base our index and on these 5 pillars.
Okay. Yeah, this is another one. Yeah.
You're talking about the authenticity and the quality value output by AI. I was in Singapore 10 days ago and was scared and shocked by a German gentleman who's launched doppelgangers. And that is to help the tourism industry and event organizers, where an organizer can pay a start level of $20,000 US, and he is creating a doppelganger of, say, you, if you're organizing an event. And the demonstration that is in trial and that he showed us is 98% accurate to duplicate the person's brain and thought patterns. It takes 2 weeks for AI at full throttle to generate the doppelganger. This is Colin Vox of Voxdam out of Germany. And I could then, over a period, ask questions to you, whether you like this or whether you don't like this. And apparently it's 98% accurate. They create this brain after 2 weeks that's identical to the person that you want to pitch something to. You can then, in a controlled environment, ask questions. I can polish my proposal, and then in the real life, I come to you, not your doppelganger, and basically, I've got a proposal that you would be interested in. That's interesting that AI, according to him, is 98% accurate, and scary that they are creating doppelgangers of the human brain and thought patterns. Have you come across this?
Yeah, it is not much of surprise. I mean, there is a brain project I was involved when I was in Europe a long time ago. So but now with advances of AI and generative AI, it's taking to another dimension. But it's probably 98, even more accurate can be done. But issue, because every of us are individuals. So that model, what they created with 98, can represent only one human, right? Every one of us are distinct, pretty much. So it's on one side it's good. It's not shocking. It's I think normal that today level of computer science and AI can replicate the human and behavior completely. But it's an issue. You must have a lot of replication, a lot of models, and you even said, I'm not sure about that exactly, what you mentioned. You said it's 2 weeks. So in every 2 weeks you need to create a new model, which means at least in the survey you must have 1,000 people as a representative. That is 1,400 days, right? That is about 5 years or something, just to create.
I think with that, we have to conclude the session. The time is up. We don't want to delay the lunch any further, but let's give a round of applause to our panel members for their insight. And also thank you for your participation and also your questions. Thank you.